Kamala Harris speaking in different accents depending on her audience. To me, it is part of it. It is part of it. No core beliefs. She's just pandering. Why? Who else does that?
Well, let me quote you back to you. I believe that you coined the phrase shapeshifter. And it's not just her policies, but now you're right, it's her accents. And it's pandering at its worst. It's amazing that it doesn't get the attention that it should, because any other politician that did what she did, not only on her issues, but clearly now in the tone of voice that she uses, it's insulting to the American people. It's demeaning to voters. And frankly, I can't believe that someone thinks in this day and age with video that you can get away with it. But this is at least what I think the third time that she has done this. So it's not just the issues that she's a shapeshifter on, but it's actually her accents. And I mean, in any other political world, this would be a story. And frankly, it would be insulting, the idea that you pick up an accent and make it sound like you're one of them.
It shows no real sense of self either. You cannot imagine Donald Trump changing his accent depending on the mob is with. That CNN interview that Kamala Harris finally agreed to, the only one she's given in a month and a half now
40.
As candidate. What did you make of it?
I mean, it was embarrassing, to be honest with you. I think it was 50-50. I was embarrassed for CNN, who likes to talk about themselves as a legitimate news organization. I mean, on a number of fronts, it was embarrassing, the lack of follow-up, the issues that were covered, the length and time. And let's be clear, this was, I'll speak in language the left likes to talk about, their pronouns. This was supposed to be her interview, and it ended up being their interview. It was kind of pathetic that she couldn't handle a one-on-one. It looked like a mix between a parent-teacher-student conference that you have for a child and then a deposition. But she kept going back to, my values haven't changed. Well, then what did change? But on every question that she was asked, it was so staged, phony, and inauthentic. I think that the funny part about that, Andrew, is, number one, you realize why they don't do them often. Number two, I don't think you'll see another one again, at least not before the September 10th debate. And number three is, it just continued to reveal how inauthentic she is. I think she did more damage than good by this interview. There were so many voters that I talked to that said, I was on the fence to vote for her. I don't like Trump. I just can't vote for her now. She really did some damage with that interview.
Well, I thought so. She's a diminutive woman to start with, but then to have, this big bloke Walz next to her, it really dwarfed her. And I think a lot of people have missed what he was really there for. It wasn't just as a coach or a comfort animal or something like that, a comfort pet. It was so that some questions would be directed to him to just soak up the time to minimise how many opportunities she'd have to stuff up. The polls are finally shorn. The media keep promoting ones. I mean, the Drudge Report has turned into a fully fledged Vote Kamala operation. It's a shadow of itself. But the media keeps promoting polls showing Harris leading Trump everywhere. But I actually see respectable polls showing she's behind in many of the states she actually needs to win. How do you see it?
Well, look, I think we always knew it was going to be tight. Once they got rid of Joe Biden, the reality is that it was going to be a tight race from the beginning. We've had 2 cycles of tight races. But here's the glimmer of hope for Trump more than anything else, because in the final 60 days, we'll go back and forth in the various battleground states, who's up, who's down. Whether it's immigration, the economy, inflation, on every one of those key issues that the American people say are top of mind with respect to how they're going to make up their mind to vote, Donald Trump is up somewhere close to double digits. I had a chance to talk to President Trump Friday night. We talked a little about policy, but he gets this. And I think the more that we see it down the stretch, I would expect to see more focus on those key issues because he wins on every single one of them.
Sean Spicer, I don't want to pry too much in what's obviously a private conversation with the president, but how did this conversation come about? Can you tell us that? and perhaps your side of it, what you told him and whether he got it.
Yeah, well, again, I've always said that I don't reveal my conversations with him. What I will say is I was with him briefly on Friday night. We talked about the upcoming debate. And I will tell you this. Number one, he always rises to the occasion. He knows what's at stake. We discussed that. He tactically knows what he has to do, and I'll leave it at that. And he knows tactically what she's going to try to do. So I feel very confident in him going into this debate, knowing what he needs to do, knowing what he expects her to do, and how to avoid those traps. So I actually do expect a strong debate performance from him on September 10th.
I tell you what, Sean, I bet you told him what she will do is look for the opportunity to say to you, I'm speaking, please. Which she did to my...
You and I, Andrew, I think I will tell you this right now. I think we think very alike. How's that?
Good on you, Sean. Sean Spicer, great to see you again.